Hi, Mike Serra here from Customer States. If you're searching for the highest quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw, performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, keeping that forklift forking and lifting, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of Hit Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but also a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we may need for our specific application. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust, so you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, combined with Justice Brothers supplying superior quality automotive products since the 1940s and 75 years in the racing industry, you will have absolutely everything at your disposal to get the job done. Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA, and they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. If you live in the Southern California area, call my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818. And if you don't, call him anyway and tell him I said thanks. And visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. Justice Brothers, America's brand for quality.
Hey, wait a minute. Didn't Allie bring in last week?
No, I'm bringing it in this week.
I thought you brought it in last week. Was that you?
I don't know.
Okay. What's up, fuckers?
What's up, all you technicians, warranty administrators, the one salesperson out there?
Fuck
This
you.
is the Customer States podcast where we talk about everything in the automotive industry, and we also get really parched sometimes, so we have to start this show off right. Ready?
You can swirl your ice around
Yeah,
next
you
to the
can tinkle your
microphone.
ice in the drink.
We need a Foley artist.
I think we should just do
I'm
the
going to spill
cracks
this
on
on
the.
myself.
Don't spill it. Do you want a straw?
Or at least it's not somebody's dog puking on you.
God damn.
That definitely didn't happen prior to this recording.
This is fucking delicious.
Yes, mine is really good too.
Well, if
Sloppies.
if they decide to pay us money, we can mention their name.
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh my god!
Yay! Schmike's heart schmamma schmoo.
I was going to say, Mike's, it's like you can totally snag us before Truly does.
Oh yeah,
line
this isn't a
forms
truly. I didn't
my
even
God.
realize.
All right, Allie,
Probably
please
one of the
continue.
better.
So,
Fuck you.
as some of you know, but maybe you're new here, my name is Allie Paul. I am a warranty administrator for both Volkswagen and Mazda.
And she does a so-so job.
Listen, we're all out here trying our best, okay? Okay. And to my left is someone who also does a mediocre job.
Damn Skippy. At least I can admit that.
It's Jake Rikus. I thought you were going to introduce yourself. I didn't realize you needed prompting. Your name is Jake Rikus. Sometimes service writers need that kind of help.
They do need help. They're special individuals.
Who am I?
My name is Jake.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. What's up, fuckers? It's Jake. It's me. I'm kind of a service advisor. And I do...
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. I kind of do my job. I kind of do the right thing. I'm kind of a service advisor.
Oh, well, I'm glad you kind of bring home a paycheck.
So I've been doing it for a couple of years. I still like it.
I think you're on
Today?
3 years this month, right?
3
Oh
years.
my god, is it your anniversary coming up?
3
No,
years.
I think we passed it because at least his Mazda date is June
Mazda date.
19th.
3 years last month.
Juneteenth.
Well, then you were writing tickets for a month without being certified.
Correct.
For shame.
3 years. Wow, that's like forever.
We'll get to you in a second, sir. We'll get to you in a second.
And
I've been at my dealership longer than Rich has been in his right now.
The one dealership.
the one dealership.
We'll get there. We'll get
I said
there.
right now.
And to my left, the one and only Mike Serra, the shop foreskin, Mr. Many Hats.
Hello. Hi. My name is Mike Serra, Senior Master Technician, Shop Foreman, Transmission Technician.
Shop foreskin.
Yeah. And masher of buttons still currently, unless somebody wants to come do this job.
Or as
I've offered.
he's kind of known around our work, it's Mike, fuck that transmission. I got a podcast to do, sir.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, if my co-hosts would just be able to record on the weekends, I wouldn't have to leave work early to do all this stuff. So,
You talking about me?
co-hosts.
Talking about me?
Well, there's more than just you.
She comes with me.
I would hope so.
Okay.
And we digress. So, to my left is a very distinguished guest. And
I've had the honor of meeting him once previous to this meeting.
and you might have heard his voice a little bit before, but let's go ahead and properly introduce him. Mr. Rich Gold, say hello, give us a brief introduction about yourself. We'll get to know you in the second half, but brief introduction.
You should have been a banker.
Well, as Mike said, my
Rich
name is
Gold.
Rich Gold. Yeah, Rich Gold. Just like it sounds.
Yeah, it's great.
And
Yeah.
I've been a Ford technician for longer than maybe many of you have been alive. I've completed 47
That's
years
very fair.
as of this month.
47 years as a
Entering my-
Ford technician.
As a Ford technician.
Oh my goodness.
Sell the bell.
Wait, no, hold on.
No kidding. And aside from that, I like unicorns, the sound of children's laughter, and long walks on the beach.
Join the club.
Yeah, it's good to have you finally on the podcast. You know, we've known each other for quite some time, and
Well,
we've
you
always
told me
gotten
at one
along.
time I wouldn't be welcome here because I don't drink. So you must have got
Everyone
pretty
is
desperate to ask me.
No, you drink. You just don't drink alcoholic drinks.
He
Which-
has a beverage.
So he asked me, he's like, oh, anything that's like a sparkling water type thing, you know, just get that for me. Because like I always try to, for the guests, I always try to find something that they like. And I'm like, well, I don't drink anything that doesn't have alcohol in it, so I don't know what is out there or what you want. So I'm just gonna.
What the fuck is water?
Yes. So I came over with like
There are things in the world that you don't know about, Mike.
surprise. I just came over with like 4 or 5 different things. Like I don't know, Richie, you can figure it out.
Coors Light's like 90% water, right?
Well, technically, this is like 95% water.
No, that's mostly alcohol and a little bit of water splashed in.
It's 5% alcohol.
By weight.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay, so Customer States Podcast. Moving on forward to the podcast.
Forward to?
Forward to.
Gotcha.
The podcast. Working on employees' vehicles.
Yeah.
That's always a sensitive subject.
Hi, Eric, Mr.
No,
Double. Mr.
we're not
Double
calling.
letters.
We're not calling anybody out specifically,
Yes,
Eric.
I am, Eric.
We have talked about that specific issue before.
Eric, we're not talking about you, Eric.
Well, you see, the transmission makes this noise, and the window makes that noise, and the
Oh my
rattle
gosh.
from here.
He's
Jake
on line
cannot
ZZ
talk
on
about
his
noises.
repair order.
I don't write up repair orders for it.
Yeah, but if you weren't a service writer and you had a new car, you sure as shit would be in there. My glove box
I didn't.
rattles when I go over large bumps.
I didn't with the first one before I started working
But
there.
but I worked there, so I was like, it's fine.
That's bullshit. How dare you throw me under the bus?
I will throw you.
You
What is a
red-headed
husband
bitch.
for?
Okay.
thing is most-
Okay. Hashtag sell the bell.
Most of the time when people come in with those little snivels, it's when the car's brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And they're whining about this little thing doesn't fit and that little noise. And then 6 months later, they come in for their 7,000-mile service and they're ankle deep in Cheerios and footprints on the headliner. And they don't give a shit about that little stuff anymore.
Yeah.
They're always
got to stroke
nitpicky.
them a little bit until they get out about 6 months and then they won't give a shit anymore.
It's true, though.
That's a good point.
It is true. Well, most of the time. There are those special like Debbie.
Debbie.
We still have to do
I know
a
we do.
re-recording of that.
I know.
This was your topic, working on employees' vehicles, I think, right? But
So-
we were going to make fun of Eric for it, but I want to hear your version of it first.
Yeah. So,
I missed you, Eric.
From
miss you
the
too, buddy.
warranty side of things, things are supposed to be just so.
Talk real bad.
Exactly.
That was for Eric.
Like,
Because I was going to say on a legal standpoint, I technically can't write my own warranty.
you
repair
can't
orders.
write your
Yeah.
you can't write your own repair orders. I technically I need special authorization for my vehicle to get worked on under warranty. Any employee
Is this from your company or from Mazda and Volkswagen?
So Mazda and Volkswagen have policies. So I'm going to assume that most manufacturers have some kind of rules on the book.
Ford's the same way.
I've never heard any of that.
So
Even
I'm not.
salesperson is supposed to have, because they don't want you
abusing the system.
correct.
So you're allowed at Ford to work on your own vehicle. However, you can't sign off, in something with my position, you can't sign off your own add-on lines. So like if you had a repair order on a vehicle that you're working on and you wanted to add a warranty line on, you can't sign that off, or you can't sign off your own M time. So there's got to be a check and balance system. So the difference is that, you kind of stroke the system a little bit when you have your own vehicle in the shop, but it's like
Right.
very fine line that you're walking.
So with all those parameters, there definitely is, I've heard that things slip through the cracks and people do end up working. I've heard that people do end up, because for Volkswagen, you're not supposed to work on your own vehicle if it's through warranty.
Really?
Really. It's in the policy and procedure, the P&P as we call it in the biz.
Policy and procedure.
Yes.
As we call it in the biz.
in the biz.
I like that.
And I've heard that also it's not very enforced. I'm sure if you're going through that person who said that, I'm sure if they're going through a very intense audit or something like that,
Different story.
that
it's
they're
gonna
going to
be
look
caught
for
or-
any penny they can find.
Yep.
But I have an audit coming up in August.
We have a parts audit coming up in July.
You have a planned audit? Is that a self audit? Or
No. Well, we haven't received the formal letter yet, but I've heard through the grapevine that we're going to have an audit.
It's a great song, by the way.
Heard it through the grapevine.
Yeah, but which version?
Creedence Clearwater.
Yes.
Thank you.
Agreed. Agreed.
Hashtag sell the bell on that.
CCR
right?
for the win.
Anything that's not CCR, I don't care.
Doesn't exist.
But it's not, I guess the CCR version, I sang it wrong because he says he hoyed it through the...
Yeah. Thanks, John. Really appreciate that. Now my English is terrible for the rest of my life.
Oh, Mr. Fogarty, such a distinct voice.
Remember when they used to play that game on the radio? If you could name the lyrics of the Creedence Clearwater song, they would give you a prize.
Now it's Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder.
Oh, yeah. Who knows what that guy's saying?
No, I'm gonna try and meme something like with a Eddie Vedder thing in there for the podcast. We'll try to mix
So,
it
I
in.
mean, that is my closest experience. I've definitely had my vehicle worked on before under warranty
Well, that's good.
with little things that were needed.
I'd like to mention how unique it is for somebody in our business to have a car that's new enough for us to be working on it under warranty.
Well, so...
You must be doing very well for
You
yourself.
must have a good job, Allie.
Oh, yeah, getting paid the big bucks, you guys.
Since when?
Yeah, Jake surpassed me within 6 months of being a service writer. He surpassed me. But pay wise, anyways.
Not easy being the best.
Oh my God! I can't sell the bell for that. No,
No, you better
How
not.
dare you?
no.
Don't do
dare
it.
you?
Look, I'm making eye
I got you,
contact.
Allie. I got you.
Let the record show.
Do you want me to take your bro card? You better ring that goddamn
No.
bell.
For this time, you can take it.
Michael?
Allie, I got you, girl. I
Okay,
got you.
thank you.
Redacted.
Continue.
You know, just because Eric isn't here,
I know we.
Even Eric would ring the bell.
I'm agree to disagree.
Yeah, he would. Because he wants it. Oh my God.
But have you ever worked on a fellow employee's vehicle, be it like any other
You mean Eric?
You mean I was about to say, you mean Eric's? Yeah.
Wait, have
We've
you?
all-
Are you
of course
working
I
on
have.
Eric's car?
Eric's truck has been around the shop
Oh,
3
Rudy's
times
working on
around.
Eric's
Well,
car.
right now Rudy's working on it.
He is going to milk the teats of Ford on that ESP till the day it expires.
And you know what? It's kind of his
As you
prerogative to
should.
do so.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can't fault him for it. I can make fun of it, but I can't fault him for it. He
Aaron.
paid for the contract. There are legitimate concerns on his vehicle. He paid for the contract. Let's fix his vehicle.
What does
Look,
ESP
yep,
stand
absolutely.
for?
Legitimate,
Extended
you say.
service plan.
Legitimate, you say.
Some of them have been.
Some of them have been.
He's not here to defend himself. Just
No,
remember
which is why
that.
I'm not saying anything.
No. Tell us how you
A
feel.
lot
'cause
of
he'll
them.
hear this.
I hope he would hear this. A lot of them have been legitimate, and the ones that weren't, I poked fun at him to his face for, which he'll tell you in person.
Are you like 60-40 split?
I can't put it in fractions because I'm not good with math. So. I'll just deny to explain any further.
So Rudy's the one that's working on the car.
This concern right now, these concerns that Rudy's working on for the vehicle, a transmission and an engine concern. Yes, Rudy is working on those.
Gotcha.
And
What's the engine concern?
this one is an oil leak.
Oh, well, an oil leak's an oil leak. You either have it or you don't have it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the problem? Okay, so moving on.
So oil leak or you?
I want to touch on ESP real quick.
Okay.
ESP is a little bit of a different
Is
situation.
that when you like think really hard and you can move things with
extended
your
service
mind?
plans or extended service coverage, anything that a customer paid for that's beyond the manufacturer regular warranty period.
But it's not a certified pre-owned program.
Not a CPO. The customer, when they bought the vehicle new, or even if they bought it used, they can buy an extended service plan.
It's an outside contract.
I just bought an ESP on a used vehicle that I bought.
Yeah.
Nice.
I bought it from a private party, and I just bought an ESP just last week.
So the point is that you spent X amount of dollars to cover your vehicle for these things that are, covered under your contract. Mm-hmm. Well, if there's something wrong with those things,
That's why you buy it.
regardless of age or mileage or whatever, because you bought the contract and it's still covered, let's get those things fixed for you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than when somebody comes in under warranty and says like, oh, hey, regular powertrain warranty. Oh, there's this axle leak, and it's just a little bit of assembly grease that's around the outside of the transmission case
Yep.
or the
There's no
axle housing or
manufacturer's
whatever.
defect
Yeah,
there.
there's nothing wrong with it. However, if that
It's a
same vehicle comes in
it's a
under an
consumer
ESP
defect.
contract and there's a little bit more slung around or something like, dude, you paid for this. Like, we'll get you taken care of.
Also, let's make the differentiation between ESP and aftermarket warranty, because there's a chasm between those two.
Oh, yeah.
You mean how
please go
terrible
on.
aftermarket warranties are?
Aftermarket warranties
Well,
are
I've got the
worth-
CarMax warranty. Yeah.
It's not worth the paper it's written on.
No.
They grind everybody.
Yep.
They think that repair facilities are subservient.
Hold on. Everybody's take 2 steps away from Rich because he might start glowing with the
I might-
rage
I
that's
might
coming
start
with this
going, yeah.
conversation.
Go
I
on.
get animated about certain things, but warranty companies seem to think that they can make dealerships and repair facilities their bitch. Oh, well, I don't care what you want to repair the car. This is all we're going to pay for it. Well, as
Then
far
the
as I'm
car's not
concerned,
getting fixed.
we don't have a contract with you, asshole.
Yeah.
You have a contract with a customer, so if there's going to be a fight, you fight it out with the customer. This is how much it costs to get it repaired here, and if you don't like it, adios.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how the policy should be. Unfortunately, there's a lot of dealerships in the interest of quote unquote customer
Diplomacy.
satisfaction, diplomacy or whatever, then they bend over for these aftermarket warranty companies. And that's one of those things I was telling you before we started. One of those things that's just irritates me for the whole time I've been in this business, and I can never seem to come to grips with it.
We all
One
have
of
those things.
Yeah. There's those little
It's
points.
It's funny that Rich brings up the fact of the extended service warranty, whatever, not an ESP, and Mike
Like
says
a TM.
no, that's prepaid maintenance. A
Yeah,
little
those
different.
are maintenances.
But
I have words on those as
I
well.
actually have a car that I'm working on that is a CarMax, one of their stupid extended warranties. Same fucking
Well, you
thing.
have to honor a CarMax.
If they're willing to pay, I'll let them pay. It just
Oh,
depends.
okay. I
Correct.
understand.
So I've got a 2017 CX-9, number one that they bought from CarMax, so already a losing battle. And
Is that the car that when we're on the road, you go, ooh, money, 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 money?
No, that's a
The CX-5.
no, CX-7.
We could list a few, couldn't we?
No, Ford has a fantastic product, and I stand behind it 100% of the time.
And they're all perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the CX-7 was made by Ford, and they were pieces of shit.
Well, some of it was made by Ford.
Most of it was made by Ford.
Yeah, because you guys don't make anything.
Wait, do you hear
We do
that?
now, bitch.
Do you hear that? Pew, 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 pew. Shots fired.
So, 2017 CX-9 used from CarMax, and they bought it with 81,000 miles on it. So, I mean, 3 strikes, you're out.
So it was already...
Yeah, CX-9 CarMax, 80,000 miles. So they're already fucked, but, you know, to each customer their own. But through CarMax, same thing like you were saying, Rich, is I got a hold of these people. Number one, it's like pulling teeth, and what they want, what they require, the audacity they have to ask me, well, would you put in a used engine? Fuck you. No, I'm not putting in a fucking used engine. If you want to do that, once again, I told them, you can tell the customer what they paid for. They will be getting used parts from, most likely,
With no guarantee.
correct, with no guarantee, most likely from a junkyard, from a salvage title.
And if that used part happens to be no good, you're going to pay the labor for us to change it the second time.
Correct. So once again, they ask, well, do you feel comfortable with using used parts? Fuck no. There's no goddamn chance. We don't play that game. And then, of course, they go, okay, well, you know, what are the parts you need? What's this? And, you know, you name off a few that don't come with the assembly and you really shouldn't replace them, i.e. the thermostat and a couple of other things. And well, if there's no failure to that, then you have to reuse it. And once again, so you go through all those steps. And then once it's all said and done, they're like, oh, okay, this is fine. Well, we now have to, you know, because it's so expensive, we're going to, you know, push it up the chain to make sure that this is okay. And I get a email back saying, well, even though everything lines up and you took all of these pictures for us and you took a video for us and you showed us where the leak was and you did all the pressure tests and you proved where it was leaking from, where the coolant's coming from, we're still going to send out an adjuster just to make sure none of the videos.
Oh, someone comes to look at the car?
Good. Send him out. Let him take a look at this. See how messed up this thing
And
is.
that's not the part that pisses me off. It's the fact of when they said we're going to send out an adjuster, they go just to make sure the videos and the photos are not forged.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, guys?
I mean,
You know, the thing is that these are basically insurance companies. You
Right.
of-
They are
you
insurance
think of-
companies.
Yeah, you think of a warranty as being, you know, standing behind a product, but really
Right.
they're insurance companies. And insurance companies
Nickel and dime you.
look around the city you live in, and you're going to see great big buildings with insurance company names on the top of the 20 stories, full of people whose entire job is to keep from paying the claims.
Correct.
I like you.
yes.
Right?
Yes.
It is 100% true. And, you know, their answer
Yes.
with that is always, well, it's not our policy, it's the company's. So, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, I feel that. I mean, when we say, oh, you know, you can't do this, you have to follow these procedures under warranty, like I feel that because I don't make the rules. Like
I feel like the
different.
manufacturer
To an extent.
so like our vehicle manufacturers have a little bit better of an understanding of what the customer expects out of their term of the vehicle usage, the life of the vehicle, warranty coverage, things like that.
Right.
Whereas the insurance companies literally will nickel and dime you to death.
Oh, yeah.
I have a car right now that I'm working on, and they're grinding me for 2/10.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
2/10. Are
You should have
freaking
seen.
kidding
You
me?
should have seen the lubies. So we were talking. Rich was talking to the service advisor, and I happened to jump into the conversation. And all the lubies, we were in Lubrac. All the lubies like stopped talking because Rich got really animated, and they were thinking like I'm assuming they were thinking that like Rich was yelling at one of us. And I was like,
but you were upset at the situation.
oh God, yeah, it's frustrating beyond belief. How can you tell me? All data says that it pays, 2.8 hours or whatever for this job, and they're trying to pay you 2.6 hours because that's the warranty time or
I quoted,
whatever.
This particular thing, I quoted 3 hours for headliner access to access a module. Warranty on that car pays 2.6.
Okay.
I quoted 3. As far as I'm concerned, aftermarket warranty companies don't get to pay the rate that factory warranty pays.
100% behind
They
you.
don't get it.
100%.
And bumping that up by 0.4 was really generous of me. And
Yeah.
they're trying to grind me from 3 hours to 2.8. No.
Seriously?
Seriously, yeah. Just one aspect of it. I won't go into all the details because it's boring, but it's just that kind of thing.
That's not boring. That shit grinds my gears.
Yeah.
And
I told the service advisor when I was with you, it's either the warranties company, the warranty company's problem to actually pay the correct amount. The customer has to pay the correct amount, or the dealership has to internally make up with the labor prices how to pay the technician the appropriate amount of time to do that job. It's not up to the customer or the warranty company to dictate the labor times.
Once again, the contract is between the customer and the warranty company, not between the warranty company and the dealership.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any extended warranties that you will not accept at your dealership?
No, but we should.
There's plenty that we don't accept. There's a couple that we've dealt with basically based on like what Rich was saying. The fact of we've done it once or twice to.
If you don't sell the product, you don't have an obligation to. I don't know. Is that true? I mean, I feel like that's true. Do you as a dealer have an obligation?
No. Technically speaking, when you go through the prompts, you have an option. Are you a selling dealer, press 1, or are you a separate dealer that is working on with us and you press 2? It doesn't change. It doesn't change.
Are you talking about different car lines or
just by contracts themselves?
Like
if you personally
service.
sold the vehicle?
Well, some dealerships will sell these
Like as-
aftermarket warranties.
Exactly.
And in that case, you're kind of bent over.
We have to.
Because you have to honor it. Yeah, well,
Correct.
I bought it from your finance department. Oh, well, I'm screwed now.
And not even so much that it's they go through and it says, well, on here on my agreement, it says you are an authorized repair facility of this extended contract. So we are bound to do that. But there are a few circumstances like what you're saying is there's a Ford prepaid and a Ford extended that Galpin sells that we do not accept.
Yeah.
If you're a Ford facility, they pay you differently. If you are at a different facility, they fuck you hard.
Because if you sold their product, they're like, okay, we want you to sell more of our product, so we're going to take care of you. If you don't sell our product, well, then we're going to fight you for 210s.
Right. Well,
is what seems to make sense in my mind.
Well, and to go back to the car that I'm on, or my tech, excuse me, I'm not working on it, and I feel bad for the guy. But
Well, thank God you're not working on it.
yeah, I know.
There's a reason he's a writer.
There is.
Poor Jay.
Very mechanically
Punching bag.
Very mechanically inclined, but I would not
Who
know.
is?
Me, but I wouldn't know what let me finish. I wouldn't know what to do with
I'm talking, Michael.
Yeah. No, not to him, only you.
The word is he couldn't fix a sandwich.
That's her job.
God damn it. I knew that
We
was
talked
gonna
about that.
happen.
I'm mechanically inclined. Anything new, I have no idea what I'm doing. You put me on something with a carburetor, I can do it in a heartbeat. But anything new, fuck no. That takes a goddamn.
It's designed for you not to work on it,
Well,
though.
and that's the other thing. It takes somebody who is trained in the field, and when you do break it down, like when you have customers who go, well, it's not that fucking hard to do it. Stand out with one of my techs for fucking 30 minutes for some of the jobs that these guys do. And it's like, fine, go for it. See if you can. I'm charging you an hour of labor. Whether or not you like it or not, I challenge you. I will pay this repair out of my pocket. If you can fix this in under an hour correctly, I will pay for it. But anyways, back to the CX-9 with that.
I would love
Go
to
lots
tell
of different
people.
directions.
I would love to tell people that. Continue,
dude,
Jake. I'm sorry.
100%. I would love to.
Oh my god.
And
Oh my god.
Don't get me started on wanting to talk to the people at Ford
Thank
who
God.
come up with warranty times
yeah.
and saying, okay,
That is really not fun on my end to be the middleman for. Because the only thing that I can tell you, at least from my standpoint, is, well, if you don't give feedback to the manufacturer,
I can't help you.
There's nothing I can do about it. And I realize that asking a tech to do that, to fill out the feedback, I mean, on Mazda side, it's not, they want you to run the job 10 times. So you have to
Right.
wait for that repair to come in 10 times. And then you have to record your actual time each time. And then once that happens, that goes to an engineer who does nothing but that job.
Don't think for a minute that
With
isn't
a team of
deliberate
4 people.
to discourage people from putting in claims. That is absolutely.
But when we complain about it, I've even had situations where I was like, listen, this operation for this amount of time includes this operation, these other operations that add to be exponentially more than what you say it's supposed to pay. And then they say, well, the tech will say, well, have to take out, this to access this harness and X, Y, and Z, and it won't even be in there. Like it won't be in the predecessing operations. So it won't be like the things you have to remove.
Overlaps.
Yeah, that overlaps. Exactly. So, I mean, and then I'm like, I would give it to you. I 100% would give you the time if I had the ability to. And I've had adjusters who work for the warranty helpline agree with me, and then at the end of the day their hands are tied because they have
You can't flag the technician actual time or something like that for
only if it's above and beyond the repair stated in the manual can it be actual time, like if your bolt got stripped and you have to drill it out or whatever.
yeah.
And go for it, Rich.
Oh, I was just going to say that you realize after a while that you get all tied up fighting those little battles, and the best thing to do is find your time and make it up somewhere else. And you can, well, the truth is you'll never get even, but
You can try.
You can try and get close.
You can try. My mantra is never, ever, 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 ever give them a break. You get every 10th you can on every single job, every single time.
And that's
I'm
why
pretty sure there's adjusters that when I call and they see on the when they
don't worry.
see our dealership's name on the caller ID,
She didn't just say that.
you guys have made a mistake, but Mike edited
well,
out.
let's not make a big deal about it.
To skip off.
Well, I'm pretty sure that they see my name and they just hang up. I've had that happen to me. Like the line picks up and it rings, it picks up, and then
Collect.
the line's dead because I give them hell.
Yeah. Well,
I'm trying to fight for my guys,
Right. Well, and real fast, because we're getting close with once again, with like how you guys want to get all the time you can and the job that you work on and you want to be paid accordingly, to go back to these extended service real fast with that CX9. The adjuster that I was on the phone with last, because of course I go through 3 fucking people because you want this, it's not the right thing. You get another person, and finally good.
Yeah, you got to escalate up the chain of command.
They have the audacity to go, okay, well, why don't you go ahead and start tearing down because when I told them where the leak is coming from the back of the cylinder head near the freeze plugs, on the CX9s, it's almost impossible to get a good photo because of where it's located. You have to remove the turbocharger and you got to drop the block to get to the turbocharger.
So you have to assess. You have to have that all of those things removed anyway to assess that this is the area that needs to be repaired, and they expect you to do that, and the customer has to cover that. It's the stupidest thing ever.
And that's exactly it. The dude has the audacity of, well, have you started breaking it down? Fuck no, I haven't. You haven't greenlit me on
I'm
shit.
not an idiot. I'm not going to start
fucking
working
gonna
on
pay
it.
my
I'm not telling the customer that they're responsible for $2,000 with a teardown
Correct.
until their insurance company tells us the okay to
Correct.
repair it for them.
And I did. I told the guy
Crazy.
word for word. I'm like, hell no, I haven't had my tech start to tear down. He goes, why? I'm like, because you guys aren't going to pay for it, are you? And he's like, well, no, that would be on the customer. I'm like, then you got your answer.
Yeah, there you go.
They should have to explain that to the customer.
Oh, they
It's
do.
their product.
Oh, they do. When that
they try
happens,
to.
I say, here's the number, here's the extension, here's the person I talk to. If you don't like it, bitch him out, tear him a new asshole.
Do you have people that hang up on you too when you call?
No.
Have you ever had a circumstance where the customer contacted them and then they reversed their decision? Has that ever happened?
Once. And it blew,
Once in 3 years.
And it blew my fucking mind.
Right?
It blew my mind, and it was something very similar. It's like, you have to do this particular teardown to get this before we authorize that. And this person was one of those who knew legalities, reading contracts and everything. and he found a stipulation where way deep in the on the
Contract 509-C.
Section 1C.
on the website after requesting files and the real contract that you can get if you requested, subsection, like you said, CZ113. Sure enough, in there it says that if this certain contract, if it comes to the point of teardown to require authorization of a claim, the company is thereafter responsible for said teardown. And sure enough, they called me, well, we're going to pay for the $2,000 teardown. I'm like, fuck yeah, you are.
Because you know what? I know the keys jingled, but you know what? If a customer is going to read that into their contract, they are going to hold their feet to the fire. And if they didn't take care of it, I bet you that customer would have sued them. And they are
100%.
Trying to get out of that legal shit.
Correct.
They don't want that.
Not worth it. $2,000 is a drop in the bucket compared to the $50,000.
The same thing with the ESP thing that I was talking about.
Yep.
The customer paid for it. Give them what they paid for.
In truth, ESP, in our dealings with it, aside from the fact that we have to do, prior approvals and things like that, we deal with it in exactly the same way as we do a factory bumper-to-bumper new car warranty. Yep. It's the same process. Yep. It's the same thing. So it really is pretty good. But I tell all my friends,
it's a good product.
If you get a late model car, absolutely buy an extended warranty if you plan to keep the car, but don't buy anything but the manufacturer's extended warranty.
Right.
Yep. All the rest of it is garbage.
Yeah. Yep. Everything else, Mercury, and whatever. I don't want to name any other ones, but
I work for a dealership and I put a warranty on my 2018.
Should tell you something.
Because, it'll pay for itself if one or two things goes wrong with it in the time that I own it.
Yep.
If the frickin' sync module goes out, that's $1,200 right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it probably will go out.
Because
I know.
Alrighty.
Well, you know what else we know?
That we love our sponsors.
We absolutely love our sponsors, and we'd like to thank them all. Everyone from Ray Moon from El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore to
Nick Lowers from Matco Tools.
Dale Follett from Twisted Bills. Round Robin.
Yeah,
Dale Follett from Twisted Bills LLC. You can visit him at twistedbills.com. Bruce Vane for making these lovely tunes.
that you are listening to right now. What? Oh, did you shut Mike off? No. Or Jake off?
What's an automotive program without its rock music?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, maybe the volume's still loud.
I was going to say, could barely hear myself, but either way, guys, we'll be back. Mike, what are you eating? That looks amazing.
Oh, this? It's just a delicious Elsinore burrito from El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Is that nacho cheese sauce and hot Cheetos?
Nacho cheese, hot Cheetos, and their mouth-watering carne asada. And I'm dipping it in their creamy guac.
Creamy guac. Yum.
Giggity.
I guess this is a great time to remind everyone that if they're ever in the Inland Empire area, visit Ray at El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Yeah, totally. Check them out on facebook.com/Ranchito Elsinore.
Or on their Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore.
Now I want me some Elsinore burrito and some of that creamy guac.
Giggity.
I can always give you some of my creamy guac, Jake. Just ask.
El Ranchito Taco Shop, Lake Elsinore.
More than just great Mexican food.
You're an asshole.
Okay, we don't have credits.
Do not have the rights for that.
You
we
should
do
only
not
play
have the rights for
15
that.
seconds of that one.
Anyway, welcome back to Customer States. Sorry.
The fuck just happened? Remember that?
We're about to find out.
Remember that conversation where he said his podcast? He truly feels that way.
No.
he
You see that shit? You see that shit?
So Rich absolutely hates the song Freebird, and you know how I like to, mix things around every once in a while.
Why, Rich? Why? Tell us.
Because I haven't been able to escape that fucking song since it came out in 1970, whatever.
So, welcome back
It's
to
just a short little
Shut
song.
up, Allie! Welcome back to Customer States Podcast, everybody.
Mike, how are you doing today?
You good? Anything else to put in before we start this thing?
I'll find something.
Do you want to just tell the, sponsors to kill themselves?
We don't
would
want that to
never.
happen.
Because you interrupting and not us telling how much we appreciate them is what they think.
Doesn't it suck
Oh,
when
God,
someone interrupts
no,
you?
You can't have that.
Thanks to all of our sponsors, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to Mike's Customer States Podcast.
Don't start. Don't start.
We
You
might,
know
as,
he doesn't
we
feel
might
that
as well
way.
open up Michael's Beverages because it's
Well-
Mike's podcast.
Well, it is Mike's Hard Lemonade.
You see, there's hints. Everybody's trying to get rid of us, so I'm going to crack this.
No. Oh, again, it's only 2 cracks.
None for you.
Sorry, guys.
You pissed me off. You're mean to me. You're mean to me. You don't get me. You're mean to me. No, say you're sorry. On live there. Say you're sorry.
Alaire? On live air, Alaire?
Say you're sorry. What? What was that? Okay, here. But with all jokes aside, welcome back, guys. Thank you to the sponsors. And we're going to pick apart Rich's brain.
Oh boy.
Well,
boy.
we would like to get to know you. I know that I work with you, and I have for some time, but for most of our listening audience and viewing audience, I guess at this point, they don't know you.
They do not.
So, brief rundown. When did you get started? Like, how long
Like,
ago?
how did you get into the?
How long ago were you working on the Stegosauruses? And
In a world of 47 years.
Just as long as you don't ask me if Abe Lincoln was really as tall as he looks in the pictures. Okay.
well, I know you're taller than he was.
Dude, my dad used to tell me that he dated Abraham Lincoln's sister.
Oh, also, wait, while I have you here, I have mentioned sausage fingers before on the podcast. This is Mr. Sausage Fingers. Can you hold those up for the camera real quick? Can you imagine how this guy gets these under a dash and through all of those things?
I feel sorry for his girlfriend.
What girlfriend?
Oh. That seems personal.
Oh, it's so big.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder. Please tell us a little bit about you. None of us know really about what makes Rich work.
You had a perfect opportunity for Rich tick, but you didn't.
Rich
What's
tick.
what makes Rich tick?
Oh,
How is that good?
It flows better.
Oh, okay.
My
A
God.
little bit of alliteration.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Alliteration. Good.
Apparently,
Is
as much as
it?
he can muster.
Thank you, Rich.
He's a lowly service advisor. It's okay.
Low-bearing fruit. Shut up, warranty bitch.
it's okay.
So where is he on that evolution chart where they come out of the primordial slime and
You know that
Amoeba.
white spot before the slime?
Halfway in between, you got fish, kind of monkey, then monkey. I'm in between, kind of monkey and monkey.
Oh, I
You're
would've
the
said-
fish frog.
I'm the fish frog. Still have some of my gills.
better than the single-celled
Yeah.
amoeba.
Okay, well, about me. So, automotively speaking, I got into the business. I started at my first Ford dealer way back in 1975.
That is
And that
not
makes
funny. You
everybody
should
laugh.
be worshiping this man.
I do.
He has knowledge beyond your years.
I do, but it's still very funny to think about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
How many decades before you were born, Mikey?
At least one.
Yeah, one.
Yeah, one. It's.
85,
1.2.
95. Well, no.
I was born in 89. You were
50
born in 90.
15 years for me.
Wow. So,
Rich is our
this
most
how-
distinguished guest to
He's a
date.
distinguished gentleman.
if longevity means distinguished, then I guess I'll take it.
Also, yes.
Also, yes.
But it was completely by accident. I was a car nut when I was a kid. I didn't have any plan to get into the business. I was working at McDonald's, and then I was working as a clerk in a liquor store. And I didn't have anything better to do, and I was going to school, and for reasons we don't need to get into, I was getting paid to go to school after high school. I got a
Okay.
monthly stipend, and I needed that money. And I went to junior college for a semester, and I didn't have any direction. And I figured, well, I might as well take automotive courses because I like cars. So I took an automotive course, and I was one of the better students in class. And the instructor had connections at Ford. And there was a local Ford dealer that was looking for entry-level techs. This was back in the days. It was a couple of years after. Some of you guys might not remember that shortly after the dinosaurs died, there was a gas crisis in the early
Yes.
1970s, and there was an oil embargo from the Middle East. So there were gas shortages and gas lines and all that stuff. So
Oh, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
well, it's not quite as bad. It's just expensive now, but you can get it.
You can still get it.
Yeah.
At that time, you had to line up depending on
Right.
your license.
Odd and even
License
plates.
number.
And,
I
Odd
remember
plates and
my
all that.
parents talking about that.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
I lived it.
I was there.
That was
Okay, Mike?
unintentional.
What about the primordial ooze?
Are you okay?
No, I spit.
He'll be fine. Spit take.
So anyway, what happened was Ford had produced a bunch of motorhome chassis, and they stopped selling because of the oil crisis. So they got stored in some yard out in Michigan somewhere, out in the weather, and they sat for a couple of years. And then this local company bought them all, and they were going to build them, instead of motorhomes, they were going to build them into small shuttle buses.
Oh, okay.
So because of the proximity to this company that was building the buses, the local dealership in the San Fernando Valley got the contract to refurbish all of these motorhome chassis that have been sitting around for a couple of years. So they needed a bunch of entry-level guys to come in and work on these chassis. So I got that job, and I was doing that, for some nominal hourly rate for a while. And then
Do you remember what you were making back then per hour?
it would have been around $2.75 an hour.
Fuck. That's crazy to think about.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just inflation. It's just
And I actually took a pay cut because I think I was making $3.25 at the liquor store.
Really?
wow.
But it was something that was a lot more interesting and maybe had a future. Although I really wasn't thinking about it in terms of a long-term,
Right. Endeavor.
career. It just was better than what I was doing.
Right.
And there was some very quick attrition in the dealership where a couple of people left or got fired or whatever. I don't really remember. And suddenly there was an opening in the tune-up department. And I happened to have had training in that when I was in trade school. And so I slipped right into that job. Mm-hmm. So I was doing tune-up for a while, and I was making, get ready for this, guys, they put me on commission at $4 per flat rate hour. Ooh-wee! $4. And anyway, so I was working my ass off, and I was barely making things, making ends meet. Mm-hmm. And, I moved out of my parents' house when I was 17, 2 weeks after high school grad. And I needed to make money.
At 17.
At 17. Mm-hmm. So I was about ready to quit. I had to find something where I can make more money. And before I had a chance to do that, my boss called me in the office. He says, "You're doing a great job." And he doubled it to $8 an hour. Well,
That's huge, though.
yeah.
That's huge. That's like me all of a sudden making $40 an hour. That's gnarly.
It was big at the time. So, I was hooked. And, it kind of went on from there. So here I am all these years later. I've probably worked at maybe 6 dealers in that amount of time, something like that. I'd have to stop and count it on my fingers, but
All Ford, though.
Ford or Lincoln Mercury. I actually spent, I believe, 32 years working at Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the last one was right across the fence from where I work now. Mm-hmm. And of course, when Mercury went out of business in 11, and then Lincoln became sort of a different thing.
Right.
So that dealership dropped the Ford products. So I had to leave because I'm a Ford guy. That's what I know. I didn't want to change makes and, suddenly become a bumper to bumper guy. So
Yep.
I appreciate people that can change make and model just like they change their underwear, but hopefully frequently. But
yeah,
that's
that might
not
say
me.
something about the person.
Yeah, that's not me.
no, it's not me either. And after a while, you get to know, you can second guess what the manufacturer is going to do. I mean, I know the philosophy with which Ford builds cars. I can guess a lot of things. I can look at circuits by the color, and I know what it does and where it goes because they use the same color coding on a lot of those, the basic circuits, lights and things that they did back in the 70s or before.
It's what I tell the trainees all the time is like the benefit of working not only for the manufacturer, not an independent shop, or B, working for one manufacturer is that
Right.
you know everything about this car line now. You've seen them all. Every Focus is like every other Focus. Every Edge is like every other Edge.
Yep.
And guess what? If this one Edge has the same problem as this other Edge, it's probably the same problem.
Yep.
Right.
So
Yeah, it really is a huge advantage. And this is the thing that I tell people out in the world, where should I take my car to get it fixed? Oh, a dealership's so expensive. Well, yeah, but it depends on what your problem is. If you're getting your brakes done or your oil change or something, you can roll the dice and have it done somewhere else. But if you have
roll
some
the
kind
dice.
Yeah,
Roll the
still.
dice.
if you've got some weird problem or something that's, takes a little bit more, chances are that you and me, because we've been working on nothing but that brand of car, we've seen it before or we know how to figure it out. Whereas an independent shop is not going to have that depth of experience.
Right.
And they're not going to know what to do.
Who knows the car better than somebody who's been working on nothing but that vehicle?
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hands down no brainer.
Yeah. And it's
Expertise is expertise.
Yeah, and it's why I generally refuse to work on anything that isn't a Ford product, because I don't want to waste my time trying to learn something that I'm only going to do once.
Yeah.
When's the next time I'm going to see one of these Audis or whatever, whatever.
Well, it
happens.
seems
Well, that's
like
why
a
you're not a
waste
team
of-
player.
Well, no, it seems like a waste of expertise at that point.
It is. In his specific condition, circumstance, whatever you want to say, it is. And again, same thing in kind of my department. They ask me all the time. Thank you. They ask me all the time, like, hey, do you want to do the engine mounts? And again, like you said, an Audi, like, this Audi SUV. Well, not for the time that you're going to pay me. Like, I'll do it, I guess, if I have to. But send it over to Audi. Like, have them do it. This is not my area of expertise. I am way more efficient doing other things for you in the dealership, and you want me to be efficient. This is not going to make me efficient. It might save you money, but it's not going to make me efficient. So how is this benefiting me?
Yep.
Very hard.
And I apparently we're going to get on the subject of efficiency and so forth, because I have a lot to say about that. But
Well, we can get there, but we have to ask you what
yes.
we
Yeah,
ask
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everybody,
Everybody the
that
same
is
question.
a guest. And everyone knows our first cars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to ask you, Rich, what was your first car?
my first car,
Brontosaurus.
Bronchiosaurus.
Stegosaurus.
this is going to make
Premium package.
I guarantee you this is going to make some people jealous out there. My first car was a 66 Chevelle SS 396.
Oh my God.
360 horsepower, 4-speed.
That makes me fucking
I
jealous.
bought it. It was 5 years old when I bought
How much did you buy it for?
No.
it. $800.
Fuck. I'm done.
It needed tires and a starter when I got it.
That
I
is
was
like
born in the wrong era.
No
That's
shit.
like
Born in the wrong
Oh
era.
man, don't get me started on all the cars I've owned and what they cost me back in the day. But it's like if I could have a time machine in the shape of a car carrier and just go back and get the cars that I owned.
yeah.
The ones that you actually owned, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have a hell of a collection today.
Worth a couple mil.
Yeah, for $800 you can get like 8 tanks of gas.
Yeah.
So
And I drove the shit out of that thing. I beat the hell out of it.
Did you?
Yeah.
So we had touched on the point of efficiency a little bit earlier, and I wanted to break into the whole category of kind of an efficiency with a very funny story. So in my
Sorry. Was that the funny part?
goodness, so
Eye roll.
Yeah.
Let the record show.
okay, so
I will leave and start my own podcast.
let's do it together.
I want to be the same. I want to be different, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Wait, I have an idea. Let's do something different. Let's create a podcast. We'll be just like everyone else.
Joe Rogan told me so.
Listen, we all needed something to do during the pandemic, okay? We've just ridden it out this long.
I'm still having a great time.
Me too.
So
At Mike's podcast.
Let it go.
oh my god, I'm never gonna live that down.
Wait a minute. Let it go? Who the fuck is the punching bag for this goddamn show?
You are.
You're saying let it go?
You are.
Thank you, Michael. I know you're always here
Hey,
for me.
know your role.
Know your role. Fuck.
Shorzy. That's the name of an episode.
Give your balls a
Know
tug.
your role.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
Moving on.
so we had talked about efficiency briefly when we were talking with Rich, and I wanted to share a funny story before we actually got into the topic of efficiency yet once again. And so, I get to the shop super early in the morning. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, and then my boys come in, Andrew and Rudy. And, Rudy's on his own. He does his own thing, and Andrew's with me. But I still kind of like oversee a bunch of stuff. So when the boys come in, I kind of greet them and like start the day and kind of give them a rundown of what's going on in the department, appointments coming in, things like that. So as I'm trying to explain to Andrew like what's going on for the day, and like we were talking with the service manager about efficiency and like how to make things better in the department and stuff like that. He's eating his breakfast and he's eating Pop-Tarts, and so he grabs the 2 individual Pop-Tarts and puts them in his mouth and bites down on 2 Pop-Tarts at once, and I immediately freak out and say. How are you eating 2 Pop-Tarts at once, you maniac?
How does he eat a Kit Kat?
I would imagine he folds them all up or something. Maybe grabs 2 of them or something like that. I don't know.
You don't break it apart and you just bite right into it.
That is wrong. It's wrong. You don't do that.
It tastes better if you do that.
Oh my god.
He had
There's
2
order
Pop-Tarts.
in this world.
He had 2 Pop-Tarts on top of each other, like making a Pop-Tart sandwich
Would
with
it make
air
you-
in between.
Would it make you feel better if there was something in between the Pop-Tarts?
Yeah.
Like a Pop-Tart sandwich.
Like what?
Peanut butter and
peanut butter.
jelly.
Cold cuts.
Maybe.
Mayonnaise.
So when
Mustard.
I immediately I saw
Egg
this
salad.
immediately I saw this and it bothered me a lot because you can certainly enjoy 2 Pop-Tarts separately better than you can enjoy 1 Pop-Tarts together.
Wait, I think you
One
need to
Pop-Tarts?
Wait, hang on. I think you need to sit on this couch and tell us what happened to you that
Show
made
us-
that
show us
bother
on
you
the
so
doll
much.
Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
Show us on the Pop-Tart where they hurt you.
So I'm explaining to Andrew like how everything that he just did bothered me right now, and I didn't mean to get sidetracked on telling him all this stuff, but like I just wanted to explain to him like why it's bothering me, and he's like, "Well, you were just talking to me about efficiency. Like I'm just trying to be efficient." Damn it, Andrew!
Touche,
Oh my
Andrew.
god! Where's the bell? Hashtag sell the bell.
Sell it.
Yeah, and so again, he threw it back in my face. I was like, "All right, good for you, dude. Good for you."
How do you feel about someone biting a string cheese?
We talked about that before.
Yes,
Did we talk
And
about it on the
I
podcast?
don't want to
Yes.
get enraged again.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, we'll
Okay.
move forward.
Why don't you just feed mayonnaise to the tuna?
You know what, Mike? Here, let's go off of this. About
Charlie
That's how you
says-
get chocolate milk. You just feed the cows chocolate.
Hey,
it comes
shake.
from brown cows.
Oh, sorry.
How now, brown cow?
Exactly. So speaking, about the string cheese thing that you don't like the way that I eat it. Speaking of your efficiency and the poor percentage you've been having, if you eat a string cheese that way, the efficiency is much greater. Instead of sitting there and peeling it like a fucking banana.
You know what, Jake?
Efficiency versus enjoyment, though.
Yeah.
Fair.
When you smoke a cigarette, do you just sit there and suck it down all in one hit, or do you lavishly sit there
Depends
and
on
enjoy and
Depends on where I
sprawl
need
out
to
in a
be,
chair and
Depends on where I need to be.
oh yeah, if you got a customer breathing down your neck or whatever, suck this thing down real fast and move on.
That's where this motherfucker comes into play.
Well,
How can I help you, ma'am?
oh, I think I hear my service manager calling from outside. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And it's like, what's that weird noise you hear in the background? Fuck, fuck. Oh my god.
So while we still have Rich here because
We
we have
didn't
other,
let Rich talk about efficiency. He has things to say.
you do have things to say about efficiency, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while we have Rich here, let's hear about his efficiency stuff.
Oh, well,
Hold on. I do also have to say, Rich is the most efficient person in the shop.
Is he?
Almost like you can time a clock to it or whatever. I can't remember what the saying
Set
is.
your watch to it.
Set your watch to it. Time a clock. Set your watch. Same thing.
Same thing.
Or better yet, instead of explaining efficiency, explain how Mike doesn't do it.
Yeah, what do you guys do differently?
Well, because he's so much older and wiser than I am, I would love to hear his.
Mike sees a lot of squirrels during the day.
What?
Squirrel! That's her. Hands down, that is Allie.
What I was basically going to say is that I think the way I've always looked at it is you get to a certain point where you're competent at your job. It doesn't mean you're going to have all the answers. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have a job that kicks your ass from time to time, but you get to the level where you're competent. At that point, you're fighting the clock. If you want to make more money, and really, at some point, it's kind of like keeping score, right? The only way to do that is to be more efficient. And I'm constantly, one of my biggest frustrations about the business is all of the roadblocks that are put in between the start of the job, the green flag and the checkered flag.
And
all
warranty has nothing to do with that, right?
Well, warranty's part of it, but it isn't everything. It can be just the process in that particular dealership. And I compare it to it's sort of the frog in the frying pan. You guys know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not old enough. Can you explain that?
Well, the story is you take a frog and you drop him in boiling water and he'll jump out. But if you put him in a pan with cool water and you turn the fire on it, he'll stay there as the water heats up until he gets cooked. So every little thing that we have to do before we get to the end that costs us time, it's like being the frog in the frying pan. All of a sudden you find out you've lost all of this time because, okay, you get the job, you got to find the keys. You got to find the car. You got to bring the car in. You do your diagnosis, blah, blah, blah. Then you have to do the work in the computer, and then you have to write the space number on the tag and write the number up and do, return the parts, all that stuff that has nothing to do with actually fixing the car.
Right.
And if you add that up on a job-to-job, day-to-day, week-to-week basis, it's hours and hours and hours of your time that you spend. You guys aren't paying attention to me.
I am paying attention to you. I am making eye contact. These
no, you
fuckers.
are. And it all adds up. And so I find that endlessly frustrating. Yes, I want to make more money. I want to be more efficient. I want to be the top guy in the shop. Mm-hmm. But
you are.
but there's all this stuff. And that tends to be where I get upset and animated is when somebody costs me time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and there's something to learn from that.
I'm kind of hard on service writers sometimes. And Mike is laughing hysterically.
I feel like
that's like a huge understatement.
It comes with the territory. It does. But with that, like I told you, for whatever reason, how I got brought up being a service advisor, I think because I was a porter and I got to see how everything worked, I learned real fast with that. If you're a dick, your techs will sandbag. They'll make sure their shit don't get done, or the diagnosis, you don't get favors.
I'm sorry.
You don't.
Was that expensive piece?
You don't get help. Nothing.
I accidentally broke this. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Right, or whatever the case. It's all like, I only make my money because of what you guys find and the ability for you to fix it.
Yeah, and it comes down to, I've always said there's a golden question that I wish service writers would ask the customer each and every time they come in with a concern. What does my technician have to do to experience this problem? Mm-hmm. What does he have to do? Very, very specifically, because we have a window of time to spend with that car. If I drive that car around the block and the fucking rattle ain't there, I'm done. Unless you can tell me it's very specifically how to make that rattle happen.
Yep.
And don't tell me you're pissed off that I didn't fix your car. And it's the service advisor's job to wring that out of the customer. Mm-hmm. And also, in my opinion, tell the customer if he can't give you that information that you're not going to even look for it. Mm-hmm. Because they're just going to be wasting everybody's time.
Do you know that it's technically a service advisor or management responsibility to duplicate a concern?
Well, sure.
It is technically management or service advisor's responsibility to duplicate a concern in a situation like that. If you have a noise or a rattle or something like that, check engine light for sure. Check engine light's on. We'll send it to a tech. But for a noise concern or something like that.
So should that be the service writer going on test drives with the customer?
That's what they're supposed to do, but obviously that's not.
It makes sense if you put it all down to Rich's. The
service advisor can't do that.
Being as efficient as possible.
It's really. I understand it's a big question, but
it's doable.
I think it is doable.
Kevin's coming downstairs with ketchup and
A rapper.
And napkins.
Look what I had, bitches.
And I'm wondering, why is there ketchup upstairs?
well, you don't know what he's into.
This is true.
Unacceptable.
It was the sound of a ketchup bottle.
I don't know. No, I don't like it.
Well, so Mike, with you saying, it's technically management or the service advisor to try and duplicate.
Nobody expects them
Grant,
to do that.
Granted, but I will agree with you in the sense of when I have somebody who is in the service drive, and if it is something that is easily, duplicated, where at the check-in, where it will only take me the 5 or 10 minutes, depending on whatever the
It's got a harsh
concern level
engagement
is.
concern or whatever.
Correct, whatever the case is. And bouncing off of Rich again, with a customer that came in today with the whole thing of wasting my time. Where is it? How severe is it? Is it a safety concern? Is it really something that you need right this second? Because if we bust into it, maybe there will be more noises. Is it something that always happens? Kind of happens. I had a customer came in today, newer car, once again, super low miles. You hear everything. You love your car, whatever the fuck the case be. And she goes, well, I've got a rattle in my dash behind my touchscreen. And I go, okay, how often does it happen? And she goes, very rarely. Okay. So
Off to a great start.
So number one, and of course, I every time, do not care how new the car is, I always tell the customer there's a diagnosis fee. And they always fight me. Well, it should be covered under warranty, this, that. And it's like, it doesn't matter.
It is covered under warranty.
it has the potential
It has
to be
the
covered
potential
under
to be
warranty.
covered under warranty.
And that's
Well,
what,
you didn't let me finish. I was going to say it was going to be
Sorry.
covered under warranty
I'm
if there's a
talking.
warrantable failure. Okay, go on.
And what I told them was exactly that. You've got the 1 hour of diagnosis. I have to pay my technician in case it's outside influence, if something got inside of the dash like a rodent, if a coin slipped in somewhere where it's not supposed to be, it's not going to be covered. And granted, you're fought and it doesn't make sense and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, then look at it this way. If you don't want to take the risk, weigh your options. You've got a 50-50 here. It's a screen, which means we have to rip, my tech has to rip apart your dash.
What do you mean? The device itself is the screen. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So infotainment system.
Yeah.
So 50-50 split here. Do you want to take the risk for us to find an issue that, number one, is not a safety concern? It barely repeats itself at the moment, and it's only annoying to you at times when you hear it, and you'll pay that risk, or because it's all of those things and it doesn't really cause an issue with how the car works, do you want my tech to tear apart the dash, possibly break a clip, possibly something else knock loose, a wire is a millimeter over where it's going to start rubbing up against this panel and you hear more? Or do you want to get your oil change, not possibly spend the extra money, go about your day, and my tech can have you in and out in an hour?
How important is this to you?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I asked her.
Most and also the fact of the matter is, if you come in and you say, well, it only does it sometimes, then, I mean, my response, if I were the service writer, not to put words in your mouth or anything, would be, if the technician can't hear it in a 5-mile road test, do you think he can hear it in a 5-mile road test? Did it do it on your way to the dealership today? Did you hear it today? You haven't heard it since last Thursday? Then we're not going to even look for it, because we're just going to be wasting our time, and we have other things to do.
Those are the conversations that I have with customers all the time.
You know, and
all the time.
or I've been on road tests with customers before, and we're driving, and and there's a little, did you hear that?
Well, of
Did you
course
hear
it's
that?
not doing it now. Oh. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah. And I go, you mean that little? And they go, yeah. I said, okay, I'll tell you right now, I've been doing this a long time. I will never find that. Mm-hmm. I will never find that as long as I live and as long as you live. That is not, we're not going to find that. Mm-hmm. I have to be able to duplicate it under the same circumstances every single time. Otherwise, I don't know if I've fixed it. If I can't do that, I'm not going to start.
Yes. I use almost the exact same verbiage. It's like, first of all, I need to be able to duplicate the concern so that I have an iota of an idea of where the noise is coming from or what to replace or what to look at. And then if I am lucky enough to replace a component that I think has failed and I can't reduplicate the concern because it's such an intermittent thing, how am I supposed to, in all good faith, give you back a vehicle that I say is repaired? Because I was never able to duplicate the concern in the first place.
Right.
You know?
Never ever try to fix something you can't verify.
Never.
So how do you guys feel when someone brings in a video or a recording of a sound?
I can give two shits about that. And I'll tell you two easy reasons why. A recording on your stupid phone doesn't tell me exactly where the noise is coming from or how loud it is or actually even what kind of noise it is because it's distorted by the microphone and everything that's going on in your vehicle.
Absolutely.
My job as a professional technician for all the years that I've been doing this is to use my ears and my echolocation system to know if it's left side, right side, front, rear, what kind of noise it is. Is it metal on plastic? Is it metal on metal? Is it a clanking? Is it a grinding? Is it a squeaking noise? You know, all these different things. I don't care about your video. And for all I know, it could be your kid in the back playing on, drums or whatever in the background, making this banging noise.
Yeah.
I don't care. I need to experience for myself. It's really nice that you have proof that this vehicle is making this noise.
It has happened one time.
And I appreciate that.
Yep.
But I need it to happen to me to even have, again, like we said, an idea of where or what the noise is.
You know, it's why they have control groups when they're doing medical research,
right?
Because you have to have a starting point, and you have to see what the cause and effect is.
Yeah, to compare it to the baseline, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how many times I've had arguments with service writers and stuff over that subject. If I can't duplicate it going in, I'm not going to even try to find it. No, I'm not going to take that screen off the dash. No, I'm not going to take that door panel off because the guy says he hears a noise in the door. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times that's not where the noise is coming from. That's their perception.
Sure.
But that's not the actual truth because I have the trained ears, just like you do. And
there's a noise coming from the right front door. No, it's not the right front door. It's actually the left rear door. I don't know why you think it's that, but I'm telling you that's where it's from. No, it's not from there. You know,
well, it's hard to tell when you're sitting in a driver's seat.
It's not hard to tell.
Okay, but from a customer's, I'm not saying from your guys'
from a customer's point of view,
perspective.
Yeah.
Like that's why you guys get paid to be trained and to know what's going on.
I wish the customers would understand that and just listen to us.
And some never will. It's just part
customers are so stupid. Big thumbs up from Jake.
That's what Jake and Mike's new podcast is going to be.
Customers are so stupid.
Customers are so stupid.
Dink. a new subsection of customer states.
No, I thought we were going to do the after hours.
Oh yeah, the after hours.
Yeah, the slightly more adult version of customer
Join us on our Patreon for that we don't have.
No, it's OnlyFans.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so we heard the key jingle. If anybody has anything crucial to say at this point, I think we should do it now. We have maybe a little bit more time for
Rich, come back on like 2 or 3 more times so we can get more out of you.
Oh, sure. This has been fun.
I really enjoyed having.
I had no doubt.
on.
We've hung out in our personal lives. I have no doubt that you were going to be fantastic with this. So I can't wait for you to come back on again.
Well, I have.
What was that?
Plenty of opinions.
As do we all.
We know that he's opinionated and at times flamboyant, but not like Eric flamboyant.
No.
So
No. I can't.
Or whatever that. I can't do that scream.
I can't do it either.
That's much
pretty
closer.
Okay, so you guys ready?
Yep.
I'm ready.
As always.
And.
No, you're good.
What's happening? Oh, I was going to say we'd like to thank Bruce Vane for these wonderful tunes you're hearing right now.
Dale Follett at twistedbills.com.
Nick Lowrich from Matco Tools.
Ray Moon from El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore. Try it. It's delicious.
Travis Ferris from Hit Distributing, supplying Justice Brothers products.
Special shout out to Jean-Luc. Thanks for the message, bud. We always like talking with you.
Oh, and Tyler Kollerick.
And Tyler.
Thank you, Bubba. Nick B. I'm still waiting. We are still waiting for those
still
pictures.
waiting. Yep.
For damn, I did again. We are still waiting for those pictures of the hashtag Syllabo.
Put it on a Urus.
No, not the Urus. Something decent.
So, well, the Urus isn't bad. It's not the best, but it's a nice SUV.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna tell me you're gonna give me a Lamborghini, but then it's like a soccer mom version, I'm still gonna take it.
All right,
but-
if an Aventador pulls
The song
in,
is gonna end,
He's
and
got
we're
the-
not done.
we're still fine.
You can follow us on Facebook at Customer States Podcast.
You can email us at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com, which also just happens to be our PayPal.
Pay us money.
And in fact, if you want, you can go to customerstatespodcast.com and find all of our episodes, all of our gear, all of our merchandise, anything that you want to learn about our sponsors or us.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a
hat.
shirt.
And
Hashtags
don't
of
forget
the bell,
to
stickers.
send us your listener mail and voice memos or whatever, your general bitchings to customerstatespodcast@gmail.com.
This has been the best episode, though.
Yes, it is.
This is definitely the best episode, Rich.
Well, with
Absolutely.
your help, Rich, we
you,
really
Mr.
appreciate it.
Mr. Gold.
He's Rich Gold.
He's Rich
That's
Gold.
for sure.
He'll be back.
This episode is cool.
Cheers, guys.
Yes,
This
cheers.
episode sponsored by Mr. Gold.
And with that, we say.
Love you.
Hi, this is Mike Serra from Customer States. Matco Tools is one of the best tool companies in the industry, and Nick Lowridge is one of the best Matco tool distributors. Nick can get me anything I need for the shop or for at home. From oil drain pans to beef jerky, Nick's got what I need on tap. Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area, and you too can get whatever you need by calling him at 805-796-7323. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him from the Customer States podcast. And then you can hop on to matcotools.com and find a Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.